caffeine and adrenaline that's keeping me going. So
it
I'm
is
not too
officially.
worried, eventually it'll kick in and it won't matter. But I mean, it does worry me just as a country. I mean, when you think about it, we've probably had this conversation, but I understand that I am not the upstanding citizen that Hunter Biden is. But I think I should still be able to live in America.
Yes. Yeah. Down 12%. Independents, they're down about 2%. And that's the same trend for infrequent, frequent, super voters. Dems are up, down, and general idea.
Dems are down,
Republicans are up.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing in Pennsylvania. I just want you to kind of just take.
He murdered for an hour.
Yeah.
And I and informative and funny, and I just wanted to haven't talked to him since his dad was almost killed twice, and just hang in there, and we're not going to let them put you in any gulag.
Oh, don't see, now you're being too much.
I appreciate that, Nick.
I'm telling you, we will not let that happen. We'll go nuts.
He also said you have an ass like a nectarine. That's what he said.
Hey, what?
Hey, by the way, fact check. True. Even CNN's not going to fact check whether it's false. Okay, so I even get to see it. Well, but no, Nick, I always tell people, I was like, that was like one of the great compliments I got in my life. I grew up, listening to you. I was like, wow. I'm like, I don't know. I just, whatever they call me on TV, I was like, well, if Nick DiPaolo's got me, then at least I got a bunch of like elderly insane men. And it's like that's the only demo I get.
Do you have the legal authority to designate him Hitler? This is a free country, free speech. It applies to the president too. Okay? What else would you call these maggots with their faces covered, carrying weapons? Looks a lot like what we see in the Middle East, is it not? What are we supposed to call them, the Eagle Scouts? Stupid question, stupid broad.
That's tough.
I'm a believer in free speech. I don't go in the other places because I'm not a believer in the censorship I see everywhere else. So I'm following you, on the special Rumble side as we go back, behind the scenes with everything there. So. Super excited about that, man.
Oh, wow. So you're going to be there, Rumble Premium. You also get Donald Trump. Wow, man, that's going to be that's great. I know that I didn't want to say it because Chris was like, oh yeah, he's going to be talking with you, and a lot of this.
Man, this guy is so racist. Am I right, Nick?
I didn't see anything he said, but yes.
Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
He's so racist. He's so bigoted, racist, and everything, Very much. I'm sick.
Yeah, bro. If you could just stop being a white, bigoted man.
I know, dude. It's like, dude, being white is actually like a cancer. It's not, but.
Exactly, bro. We need to stop with the caucasity.
Are you feeling?
We gotta stop with the caucas. Exactly.
Yeah.
Tonight, we went through a lot of the early voting data that we have, and of course, you don't want to make too many inferences. But we also just heard some BS from CNN where Abby Phillips said, "Oh, they're not getting as many votes coming from the rural turnout in North Carolina." Fact check: she doesn't have that information. We've seen actually record rural turnout where we do have that information. But how are you feeling tonight? I mean, I know it could go either way, but genuinely, you feeling confident? What do you think maybe might be sort of the momentum factor as far as state?
Yeah, listen, I'm cautious.
Oh, Trump is winning. Even CBS News is saying Trump is winning, bro.
Into an election day. The early numbers look great. If people get in line, if
this
they
is
stay in line,
crazy.
if our people show up, we win.
Right.
It's
no way, bro. Trump is winning tonight, chat.
Make you
Trump is winning.
So you sit at home, or they're designed to demoralize you, so you sit at home.
Let's watch this for a bit here.
Spread not just on Truth Social, that post I mentioned from Donald Trump was shared there, but also on X, which we used to call Twitter. A lot of these have been pushed and shared by supporters of Donald Trump, but some of them have also been promoted by supporters of Kamala Harris.
Like chat, Democrats are cooked.
Existing concerns around voting machines, or that there have been
irregularities
in some
way.
way.
Actually
cooked. Evidence to support that theory. And this matters because actually this can undermine people's
Look at all those racists,
in democracy, in how whether their vote counts and how that system works. It also can have an impact for some of the people on the front lines here, election workers who are trying to ensure that they can kind of keep democracy on the road, but have found themselves, certainly some who I've spoken to in recent weeks, under threat, receiving a huge amount of abuse.
I got really banned, didn't I?
Really critical to keep our eye on all of that. Thank you so much, Mariana Spring, with our BBC Verify desk there. They've been working for days and will, of course, throughout the night to keep on top of all of that. All right. If Kamala Harris wins tonight, She would make history as the first woman president, but also as the first Asian American president. Her mother was born in India before emigrating to the United States. And tonight, people from that country are watching the results very, very closely. Let's go right to our correspondent, Ishadrita Lahiri. She's in Tulacendrapuram in India, where Kamala Harris's maternal grandfather grew up. Great to have you with us. Give us a sense of how people are following this election there.
Well, they're watching the election results really, really closely. And in fact, as the counting began yesterday, there was a small prayer ceremony in this temple that you can see behind me. This is a temple that Kamala Harris has donated to in the past in 2014 when it was being renovated. There is a plaque with her name on it as one of the donors inside the temple. Now, if you speak to people in this region, they tell you how much Kamala Harris has done for this village, even though she's never visited this place or mentioned it in any of her speeches. One of the people I was speaking to said that, you know, this has become a sort of tourist destination of sorts. When people come here,
I don't know, but this is BBC News, so let's do another one. What about this one? CBC?
At King we salute Nokian Tire, presenting your winter tire 90 years ago. It's been a real game changer. Instead of saying happy 90th, shop caltire.com for cool winter deals. It's how we roll.
But we can't be discouraged. We still believe in Haiti.
They're still able to look ahead with hope.
Haiti is on the brink of transformation, a radical shift. Haitians are coming together and saying things must change.
Fighting for Haiti, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
Fighting for Haiti.
Come on, Julia. Oh, no. I will if you will.
You go, gal. Superstar approaching, superstar approaching.
I want to make sure that my voice is heard, but also lift up other voices.
Hey, give me some love, baby. We'll see you 7 o'clock sharp.
Welcome back to CBS News coverage of Election Night 2024. Take a look at this live look at crowds gathering at what is Harris headquarters tonight, otherwise known as Howard University. The vice president, the first vice president to graduate from a historically black college, and she has said publicly she hopes to be the first president to do that as well. So you can see the crowds there.
Let's see here, chat.
Oh
boy. Oh boy.
Now is Harris campaign co-chair Cedric Richmond. And Cedric, so good to see you.
Democrats.
So
Oh boy.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
We might have a
the
chance.
inside scoop. What are you hearing?
Chat, we
inside the
might have a
campaign?
chance.
Look, we have great
If Trump gets
enthusiasm. We're
in,
seeing it
bro,
all over the country.
huh.
If you look at young people
He might be
on college
getting in.
campuses in North Carolina and Nevada and Georgia.
Okay, let's see what this
You know, especially as we start heading west, you know.
Unbelievable.
How many more examples are of that where someone wasn't stupid enough to ask for their ballot back?
Well, that's why we have to overwhelm it. I think that was up in Michigan, not Florida. But
Right.
yes, you know, it's definitely the case. We got to overwhelm it. We got to overcome, you know, the nonsense that's going to throw at us. I mean, if this was a fair election, 100%, this thing's over in my mind. But
Right.
you know, it won't be. So we just have to overwhelm that. But don't forget, the same people that said, okay, that ballot can count are the same people that let in 13,000 murderers into our country across the southern border. They know this. This is Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's government statistics. They let in 16,000 rapists and sex offenders, and they let in overall 600,000 criminals. They know it, and they still let them in. I mean, think of how insane that is, that we live in a country that it's like, yeah, wow, there's only 600,000 criminals. What could go wrong? Like, spread them evenly over every county in America. And like, what's our future look like? I mean, it's absolutely insane. So we got to win. We got to take back our country. We got to get those scumbags out of here. So, you know, I'm hoping we have a good night, and I hope we end it soon, but we can't do that. You know, my dad can't do that by himself. We need everyone to now step up and stand in line.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good news is right now you're on the #1 stream on Earth, and we have the tools and data that CNN and Fox News have, where we actually have the Reuters Newswire, the API data we're going to be providing to people. We have the election integrity map, where we've called some states before they did. Of course, you know, Indiana and Kentucky went for your dad, so that's good. Didn't really take someone going out on a limb, but we don't need traditional media. But, you know, before it was people covering the election, we're actually spearheading it tonight, and there are a lot of people tuning in, choosing to vote with their dollar, and I'm sure a lot more people are going to be joining Rumble Premium, knowing that you are on there. yeah, I hope that people get out and vote. And they used to say, oh, if there's a large turnout, it favors Democrats because they wanted the lowest common denominator. And by that, I mean the people who weren't planning on voting, who they could get, on an Acorn organized bus. But in this case, it's a lot of people who maybe are first-time voters because they work tirelessly, like we see in rural areas, where it's a lot to ask them to take a day off work, and we're seeing record turnout. So big turnout favors Donald Trump tonight.
Yeah, no, I think without question. I mean, I want a big turnout. I want people voting. I want people getting out there because they understand what's happened to their country. They understand what's happened to their economy. For all the talk about they're worried about their young girls. I'm like, I don't know. I have girls. I have boys. I have 5 kids. I'm more worried about my sons getting drafted into World War III to fight a battle so that Liz Cheney can make a couple $2 billion. Like, I'm much more concerned about that than I am, the abortion issue when I see what's on the ballot, especially since they're lying about that anyway. It's all been thrown back to the states. Kamala Harris isn't going to be able to do anything about that. Frankly, neither is Donald Trump. It's with the states, and they're going to decide. We've just been lied to and gaslit so often with all of this stuff. I hope people can see through that noise. I hope they understand that, and I hope they vote accordingly.
Yeah, as do I. Mr. Trump, I know that you're busy and you probably have many other streams to get to and many other parties to attend. So do you have a prediction for tonight, if you're going to put a number on it, as far as the Electoral College?
Listen, I'll take 270. How about that? I'll take 270. I'd love it to be more decisive. I'd like a greater mandate. I'd love to, crush their will to live. With such an overwhelming mandate. I'm talking like Conan the Barbarian style. To hear the lamentation of the liberal women.
Yes. To see them driven before you and hear the lamentations of the women. By the way, that film is unwatchable.
I'd love all of that, but right now I'll take the win because it's not just about my father anymore. It's now surrounding J.D. Vance has been a rock star. You got RFK on the health issue. You got Vivek. You got Tulsi Gabbard. You got Elon Musk. Like, I will step in and help fix this. We have the opportunity to put the Einstein of our era, in charge of breaking up the bureaucracy in Washington, D.C., creating efficiencies. I mean, you could save $1 trillion or more a year. That could actually go to, I don't know, like fix a road, maybe educate our children. All these little things that used to be important in America that we couldn't care less about right now. So all of that's so important for me. So I think it's a big night for the future of our country. And if it goes the other way, I'm very worried about what happens, down the line.
So am I. And one more thing I would request, since we're talking about Arnold, and since he said, screw your freedoms, and now he's doubled down on it and endorsed Kamala Harris, just out of spite, I would like to see someone in the cabinet give the 1980 or 1981 Mr. Olympia to...
And
about what we're seeing in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. The president is in a very good place based on what we saw with early voting, with absentee voting, for us to have a great day today. Right now, we are continuing to work very aggressively to get every last vote out. We are also working very hard to make sure that we are in place with our observers, our election integrity program. Every time a vote is cast or counted, we're ensuring that we're in the room.
And Michael, let me ask you about turnout. I know
That's
that
crazy.
those within
Cheesy
the campaign are sending out messages to get men to go to the polls after work. Are you concerned about male turnout?
No, I think what we're doing is just making sure that we're doing everything we can to get every last voter out. We know that this is going to be a tight election. Every election is a tight election. These are battleground states. We call them battlegrounds for a reason, and we want to do everything we can all the way through the tape to get everybody out.
And Michael, finally, those late deciders, John Dickerson was looking inside the exit poll data, which suggests in North Carolina they are breaking toward the vice president. Is that worrying to you?
What we're seeing right now is that North Carolina, we had the first time ever that the Republicans won the early vote absentee vote. We have a lead going into Election Day. There is very few undecided voters at this point in time. The
That's
turnout
crazy.
Has been great.
This is boring, though.
To Mike Menser. Just
clock Eastern time. There's
okay.
Some states.
So we're going to call them before Bongino? Or are we going to call them? Are we going to call them before Bongino? We're going to call them during Bongino.
We have to wait until the right time to call it.
When's the right time, Gerald?
if we go to Bongino right at 8 o'clock, then
didn't Lane the Brain have an update? I know because I cut him off and he was all pissed off. So we should probably go check.
He's not in the chair again.
He's not in the chair. Well, we should
but
put
I
someone in
see
that chair
him
before
scurrying,
Bongino.
Maybe no.
Well, it was just funny to cut him out of it earlier.
No, it was hilarious.
And by the way, hey
He was
everybody,
very mad.
we appreciate. Like we said, we're gonna have some more announcements here tonight. But of course, Rumble Premium, you get this. You get Nick DiPaolo. You get Rumble Premium ad free. There are other live creators there on Rumble, and now you get Donald Trump Jr. there. Everything that was once exclusive, where you had to join here, join there, join Mug. And look, we really appreciate everyone supporting Mug Club, but we knew that long term it wasn't enough. That we needed your membership to go into one portal where you could get everything, and eventually. We want this to be an entire clock, day in and day out, where you can get live. You can get film. Hey, at a certain point, right? You can buy films right now. You can rent films, whether it's Amazon, whether you can rent them on Google, you can rent them on, I don't know, Vudu. All those things we want to put under one roof where you have one-stop shop for entertainment and you don't have to give your money to people who hate you, or at least give them a commission. The production houses and the actors in those films, a lot of them probably do. I'm not going to lie to you. They probably wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. But I might not either. I don't know you that well.
No, he said last night.
That's because it was uncontrollable.
Yeah.
I wasn't even on fire.
No,
warm.
That's just how I say I care.
That's not very caring.
Do we have them in the chair?
Yes, we have Lane ready to speak.
All right, Lane had an update for us. Let's go to Lane the Brain. People at work. I don't know my audio. I wish we didn't. Oh, the reason why is because it's echoing from there.
Mute it.
We have to mute them and then have to bring. Are we good now?
Yes.
Okay, we're getting myself echoing back a little bit, Toolman. All right, Ginger Snap, Lane the Brain. What's the update that you have for us? Sorry.
Yes. So in about 5 minutes, polls are going to close in a bunch of states, including Florida, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, places like that. And of course, one of the states that we expected Trump to win, we'll have to see, but it's looking that way, is Florida. Right now, he's up 10% in Florida, which would mark a 7% improvement upon 2020, which is great because this was going to be Kamala's time. Remember, Florida's turning blue. It doesn't look like that. Officially, we'll be able to say in about 5 minutes, but right now it looks really heavy to Trump. And if you actually look at the counties, a couple interesting ones, I have the information right here, is from Miami-Dade, which is one that Biden won by 7.3. Trump is up by 11 points currently. Yeah. And if you look
We're winning.
What's another interesting one would be Palm Beach, which Biden won by 12. Kamala's only up by 1.5. And you see the same trend in places like Jacksonville and Orlando. So all across the board in Florida, it's trending extremely heavy to Trump. And I know we expected him to win, but if these numbers are indicative of larger trends, then Kamala's in for a really rough night in places like that.
And here's one thing I'll say to make an inference. Sorry, you might have to mute me there and ride the board a little bit there, Billy. Is we expect still women to outnumber men as far as their turnout, but if you're looking at those counties, probably looking at a very high Hispanic vote, and I would imagine probably looking at a pretty high Jewish vote, so that might explain those trends, a significant jumping off the bandwagon of Jewish Democrats and Hispanic voters. Would we say that that might be an inference that would make sense at this point? Because that's a consistent, huge trend.
I'm not sure why would Jewish voters not want to vote for Democrats. I don't understand.
And I don't know. I assume there's some Jews in Palm Beach.
There is, but yeah, definitely with Latinos or Latinxes or whatever we want to say,
yes.
and Jews, it definitely looks like they're trending heavily towards Trump right now, and we'll be able to tell probably in just a few minutes if that resulted in a victory.
Well, the reason I say is because we're looking for some bellwethers, right? We're looking for some trends here, and I believe Pennsylvania is the swing state or Midwestern state with the highest Jewish voting percentage.
Correct.
I believe it's over 800,000. So I don't know if we can have some analysts look into the makeup of those communities, but I would be willing to bet. Again, Donald Trump doesn't need to win. Right, the Jewish American vote. He doesn't need to win the Hispanic vote. I'm sure he does in some counties. He did in Florida. But he just needs to have enough of them crossing over. And if we look into those counties, I bet you if we cross-reference that with the percent of the population that are Jewish or Hispanic, it'll give us some answers. And then maybe we could look at putting that over Pennsylvania as we make some predictions.
Yeah, I think so. We'll get some people on those numbers right now and get them to you as soon as we have something on that. But yeah, that trend makes sense.
Okay, and the second question that I have is, you don't have to answer me, but go to one of our interns. Why do you look so much better than all of us? Lane the Brain, just let them know, and whatever they're doing for you, we'll have them do for us. We'll check back in.
I'll be back later.
All right, thank you very much. People at work, everybody. By the way, I guarantee you we're going to get some interesting numbers on that. I bet you that's a big reason. Those up +7, up, did you say +9 in one?
Yeah, they're
one of them was an
giant
18-point
numbers.
swing.
An 18-point swing?
Dade was an 18-point swing from 2020.
He could win Florida by over 1 million votes.
Shouldn't he?
Right now, gosh.
I mean,
insane.
Can we run some numbers? The last time a Republican won Florida by over 1 million votes.
If there's
what
one
that map
state
looked
that
like?
he should crush, it seems like that one.
Yeah, but Florida used to be the state that kind of went back and forth, and then
Florida
it went
was a swing state.
No, I know, used to be, but
I just didn't think it would go that far over. I mean, I don't know what you guys may have been saying.
I think it's a Hispanic vote.
And the
Jewish
Middle
vote.
East thing is.
It could be. I don't know. Again, I'm not familiar with how many Middle Eastern people are there in those counties, but I do know there's a lot of Jewish Americans there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't like the way the Dems are handling.
Well, the funny thing is, but you also get far more Arab Americans who are going over to Trump.
Yes,
we see that in Dearborn.
Give me 3 of them. That's a huge sign.
Even if he doesn't solve it in that cesspool of filth and sadness where dreams go to die, which is the Middle East, he's bringing Jews and Arabs together in America.
This guy that blew himself up at Hamas had a Trump hat on yesterday.
Really? That's weird.
That's what his pager said. It said, MAGA, bitch. What? Don't forget to take your Flintstone chewables. I thought I did. Oh, no, it's a trick.
Isn't Palm Beach filthy rich? No? Am I confusing?
No,
West
Palm Beach is. I think Palm Beach includes West Palm Beach as far as the county.
It
so
does,
very wealthy.
right?
But still, to gain that much in that county,
But
and again.
it shows how much things have changed over the last, I don't know how many years. That would be Republican country years and years ago, right?
Well, it was, but they were saying that he gained it by. I don't have the numbers. If you could have them there, Gerald, by somewhere the summary of how many percentage points the swing. Could we have that so we can just have it up to ready?
20?
Yeah, in those counties.
On that one, it was. I was listening. It went from 18. Come on, I've been paying attention. I just regurgitated shit I was right about. 18 down to 1 because Kamala's still up by 1.
Right.
But it was 18 that
it was a swing.
Biden won by, something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I think you're right. I think that if they look into those numbers, it'll be pretty much the Hispanic vote and the Jewish American vote that would be the reason for that giant swing.
Well, who else is there?
So we can some states. You want to call some states?
Okay, let's call some states. It's time to make some state calls.
St. Louis.
Damn it, I wasn't ready.
Do it now.
You got to be ready.
Okay.
Do it now.
All right.
See, I think you guys think this is a prop. You don't realize how
No,
heavy
I tried
pure
to pick
silver
it up.
is.
I'm like, holy.
Someone's going to die tonight.
It's like that phone in The Godfather they passed around.
All right.
So we are calling some states right now. Are any of them swing states?
Well, one of them used to be.
Maine.
Which one? What is it, Florida?
We're going to do, this is all for Donald Trump. We've got
So have
Alabama.
the soundboard ready.
Alabama
called for
9
Donald
electoral
J. Trump.
votes.
How many?
9 electoral votes. Florida, they're 30 electoral votes. Missouri, 10 electoral votes. Oklahoma, 7. Tennessee, 11. All for Donald Trump.
All for Donald Trump.
All for
I don't know. Do we have Donald Trump calling Florida?
I'm looking.
I'm not sure. That would
We
be
have so many of him.
We have so
calling.
many of Donald Trump calling different states.
Did we do Florida?
I don't know if we do have Florida, but right now someone needs to let us know. It's just to give you an idea how little on CNN. Just bring it up right now. It's asking us, "Are you still watching CNN?" No,
no.
All right,
nobody cares.
Really quickly, and then I know we've got Bongino. We have states that we're going to be calling for Kamala.
Okay.
DC, well, not state, DC,
That doesn't
3
count.
electoral votes. Massachusetts, 11.
Doesn't count.
And Maryland, 10.
Friggin' Massachusetts.
I know, and that's your home state. It's okay. We can
Go ahead.
We can take a
Shit
steam.
all over
Good,
it.
good.
By
Nothing
the way,
good has come out of there since
we
the movie
beat
The
you
Town.
again, CNN, we beat you again. Oh, hey, Mr. Late to the party, CNN. Finally getting around to it.
CNN's calling Florida. We don't have Donald Trump calling Florida tonight.
No.
We do not.
We do not. That's
we
the
don't.
one because it wasn't a swing state, and we brought him in.
Ooh,
We were
Tennessee,
paying him
Florida.
hourly. Even if you how
Yeah.
expensive
Ooh,
Donald Trump is
Missouri.
hourly.
Especially for them. That's crazy.
Yes. Remember Florida. Think about it. I remember when Al Gore was bitching about Florida and wanted a recount. They're not going to want to recount it now. So
It's
I do
like,
want those
it's
numbers
good
from
to
Michigan
be
Control the
back.
last time
You
someone
know,
won Florida by,
Trump
let's
is
say, a
gonna get,
million
like-
votes, because
Yes.
that's indicative tonight. If you can feel some momentum there. Florida was a swing state for a reason. Florida does have a pretty diverse makeup. Florida has obviously a lot of Hispanic voters. Florida has a lot of older people as well as younger. Florida has military people. Florida does have quite a few black voters as well. So the reason that Florida used to often be a swing state, it would go back and forth. It's more red than most swing states. I believe Barack Obama won Florida both times, at least one.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump has won it consistently since then, but, Al Gore was right within that margin.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, with Kerry, it wasn't.
I think DeSantis had something to do with it.
I'm sure DeSantis did.
Becoming his profile going up.
Yep.
Do we have Bongino ready to go?
Yes. I see his stream. We're going to join while they're live. And,
Okay.
Okay.
And then after we bring up Bongino, then what?
Don't forget the wonderful new guys we brought in, the sponsor.
Well, thank you.
When you talk to Dan.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. Well, yeah, but yeah, we do have. They came in last minute because they were very excited, and I was very familiar with them. Jacked Up Fitness. For people who don't know, I bought a home gym. And it will remain nameless. But there are only 3 home gyms in the world that have a free squat rack, also have a Smith machine, and also have a cable machine. So you can have everything that you want, but can fit into a garage space. And there are 3 in the world that also have the Smith machine being pin selectorized, meaning you don't need to add plates. Because where I moved, where I have a place, and I have a little spot for a gym, but it's not enough room to stack the plates on. Jacked Up Fitness is the best one, lifetime warranty. When they said we want to sponsor the show, I said, wait. You're the guys who have the Evolution power rack, right? They said, yeah, that's us. I said, I can tell people out there it's the best home gym you can possibly buy because I cheaped out and I got one with a 25% off discount at a big box store, and it sucked. I lost $500 in the deal because I paid to have it returned, and I had to TaskRabbit a bastard to disassemble it just because I hated it so much.
You called me and you were like, dude, do they want to like be a sponsor of the show, or are we asking them? Because I don't want to get my hopes up. Like, tell me what's going on. And you rapid fire texting me on a Friday. I'm like, shut up and leave me alone. They love us.
Yes. And we have a time lapse of us. We reassembled our entire office gym. I don't know if we have that here.
Yeah, I got it.
Do we have music, or am I talking over it?
I think there's music.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, let's bring it up and I can talk over it. Okay, now bring the music down. So our old gym, bring it down. Our old gym, we had some of their competitors, but that's because we got it from a gym that closed down, so it was free, and I got them from a garage sale. And I said, hey, look, if you want us to do our upcoming videos this year, we're going to have a fitness challenge in the office, as we lose weight in the new year. I said, you don't want some of this old equipment. They said, don't worry, we'll outfit it. We'll make sure that you have all of our equipment, and then they overdid it where we don't even have enough room for it. So
I'll take some of it. That's
awesome.
a girl on a Tennessee softball team
wait.
squatting.
Tim put this cut together, and he's like, oh, look, there's me squatting.
Yes.
I suggested
You
the
can
footage,
squat a
and I
dump
didn't know
truck.
if they would have included
Was
it
that
or
you
not.
with 11 plates?
But maybe at some point we can have a live camera go in there. And I'm not just saying.
We're not 25.
Guys,
Man.
if you go back to
I could squat more than Joe.
Man, there's no way. Like, it's wild. Let's actually go into the politics. Interesting. Here it is. Okay, this is interesting right here. Okay, dude. Every single, like, President 95, Senate 43. That's tough. I'm sick.
You know why, bitch? Yeah, should be a bitch. Strong fit, yeah. Should be a bitch. Yeah, should be a bitch. Should be a bitch.
Who is
yeah,
this subhuman talking right now, chat? Who is this guy? Who is this dude right here, chat?
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah,
Trump
wait,
is
Adam,
winning.
look at
Trump
bro,
is
wait.
literally
Look
winning.
at
Dude,
that
we
AFD
winning
with the
tonight,
top.
chat. We are winning, dude.
And I'm up. Hey, no man, shit, you're a snake, yeah.
Okay, we
Yeah,
got Alabama. We got Florida. We got
But I was
Indiana.
telling my grandma that we're about to win,
We're
and
about to-
she's like, "Well, nah, you just gotta wait it out."
She's Democrat.
Yeah, we got a Kamala sign in front of our house. It's a dishonor to my neighborhood.
Exactly. Yo, Kentucky, Mississippi, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a pretty base state. South Carolina. Oh, you got Tennessee. All right, you got West Virginia with 4 electoral votes. Dang. But I think Florida has the most. They got 30 electoral votes. Oh crap! What is this? It's a little creature that should landed on my screen. Creature, get out of here, creature.
Yeah, am I making out of the hood?
Well, if Trump wins, yeah.
Or making out of the hood if Trump wins on game? Our places in Texas is really good though.
Yeah, where's Texas at though? Texas is getting liberal though. Like, hold on, but most of
No,
it.
it's not.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, so basically, yeah, overall, Trump is majority in Trump is majority in Texas right now, while Florida is the most conservative.
That's weird. How many guns we got? A lot.
Oh, Ohio, of course, is liberal. Maryland is liberal.
Nick is a little liberal. Nick is a little liberal.
Yeah, Nick is. Oh boy, Nick. I'm sad for
Nicka.
him.
Little Nicka. Yeah, little Nicka, yeah.
Oh,
Little
Pennsylvania, bro? Oh my gosh. Oh boy. That's tough. That is real tough. And I know why I'm saying this is I'm not telling nobody saying this, but this is really
And
tough.
Nick has his playlist in the side chat.
No idea, bro. Like, we get. Oh. Alright, this is crazy. Okay. Based. It's not based. But it's
based.
Mike.
Who's the director of national intelligence. These are the same people who were there in 2016. They're definitely going to set Trump up.
Well,
already
Nick
been
has the biggest
president.
master
He's
songs on his playlist.
He doesn't need to be, lured in by Avril Haines or Lisa Monaco or anyone at DHS or any of these agencies under the ruse of transition. Director of national intelligence. These are transition period.
I think it's because they're listening to people like you guys who are now warning them
Definitely
that,
was.
hey, man, this is like these are not, I'm sorry, but a lot of these people are not home team. But Mike, on that GAO thing, that was smart, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was. And to what you guys were talking about, there's really no intelligence lost in the failure to have some of
When
these
Nick listens to
briefings.
Tool,
The fact
that's
is
pretty cool.
they have suffered so much reputational damage. The analyst wings of
All right,
the
guys, bring it
CIA
down really quickly. Just should we check back in? Are they having some technical issues from their side with crossing the streams?
Well, they're basically just checking the audio on us, so we needed to be able to speak, so they can hear us. Now,
so I
stay
should have been
stay here.
speaking so
Here we
that
go.
they know.
So we should sort of have been speaking.
ways to get an approximate value.
They just couldn't
that
hear
are
us for a
shy
second,
of-
so
of
that's.
Can they hear us
setting
now?
yourself up
I believe
for
that
some
they're able
sort
to hear
of,
us now. They can hear us on that end. They'll put us
investigation
through to that.
Because this is riveting.
So
I know.
glad to have you guys on the panel. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Is this going to be the biggest crossover in the hit?
Oh, no.
Again for my nigga Nick.
Oh, did they kill our?
It was going to, but then they just killed their own audio.
We killed the audio.
Hey, let the record. We are
You
3-0
gonna look at
on
me,
technical
you
issues
gonna-
on the
yo,
call.
you know the
We have
techno
had
this
it
is
right.
gonna drop soon.
Dan, you can hear us, but now we can't hear you. Can you say something, brother?
I can hear you.
Say
I
what?
got a little double feed of you. Okay. But I got a little double feed.
Oh, shit.
We got
Your
it.
mic
We
is
did
really,
it.
really
I feel
bad.
like, Steve, I feel like we should have Dora the Explorer and Boots in here. We did it.
Yes, I
we
know.
did it.
I know.
Hey,
Wait, so are you there?
Very low expectations, but
You have a monster stream tonight, blowing it up for Rumble. As always, I think we're taking
Seb?
over the interwebs.
Yes,
You
was
know,
good.
ask-
Yes.
You there, bro?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just listening to this show.
Oh, I was just gonna say like the techno this is gonna drop soon. If you're trying to get ready for that.
Oh yeah, better. I'm gonna get it. What? Is it gonna be it's pretty good or not?
It's gonna be like gangster.
Dang, chat.
you the other
Bro, I
day,
like
man.
this
Every
card.
time.
And we actually were the people watching our stream know we were subject to DDoS attacks for the election integrity map that people can follow right now, where we've made some calls to states before even CNN or those folks have. It's going to get wild and woolly with the swing states, but we're not relying on them at all. And like we said, we'll make that available to you. I also wanted to, hey, by the way, Jacked Up Fitness, people can go to getjackedup.com. They told us that you were using their gym. We just showed a time lapse.
I lost his audio.
Oh, son of a bitch. What is going? You lost
Wait,
my.
hold on. Don't panic. It's just like they'll fix it in a second. But I heard you say Jacked Up. Okay, I got you back.
All right. No,
Sorry.
I was saying
Go
that we just brought them on as a sponsor last minute, and I heard that you've been using them quite a bit.
Don from Jacked Up Fitness
Yeah,
is
he's
here.
there.
Hey, Don. 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 So Steve Crowder just gave you a big shout out. The owner of the company is
offended.
legit here. So
I know
Jacked
Don.
Up Fitness, Steve Crowder. You know he works out. So Don's right here, Steve. He's like right in front of it. Steve just said that you're doing the Steven Crowder show now.
shot. There's
Which is
Don.
good because Steve.
Look at this,
folks,
Don.
there's
This is for you,
right
Don.
There. And Steve, Steve is not a fatty. Like Steve, you can't bring on fatties for a company like that, correct?
That's
you
true.
can't be like, go use Jacked Up Fitness. The product is great, and you're dropping like 400 or 500 beans on the scale.
Well,
You
no.
can't do that. It just doesn't work.
I lost 8 pounds in 12 hours though because of the stomach flu from hell. I have a throw up bucket right next to me.
Really?
Yes, tonight, right next to me.
He says he lost 8 pounds with your equipment. There. So, you got, by the way, Jacked Up. Hey, Steve, he says he's got, I love the machine personally, but Don says he's got a super duper machine coming out now. I said, bro, I want an upgrade. You
Really?
send that freaking machine over my house stat.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
man.
thing's like 8,000 pounds. I'm like, send that thing over to my crib, brother.
Yes, well, we'll make sure. And I know, and by the way, I didn't realize this. Everyone was horrified, just for people who know, because we just called some states so we can talk shop. When you came in, I always speak when I shouldn't, and you came in and I knew that you had, obviously cancer and beaten it. And I didn't remember, but my producer said, I can't believe the first thing you said to Dan was, wow, cancer looks good on you. I was like, I don't remember saying that, but I thought it was a compliment.
That was cool, bro.
Yeah, look at you.
What do you think? I'm like Captain Sensitivity?
Well,
do I look like the kind of guy who gives a shit?
No.
This is why we get along so well.
It was a compliment.
There's almost nothing you could say that would offend me, brother, at all. I know where your heart is. You're a good dude. So wait, let's talk some shop here, though. You got a whole team back there.
Yeah.
Give me your overall kind of, I hate the bird's eye view, whatever.
Right.
But give me the macro. I'm feeling pretty freaking amazing right now, but I don't want to pop any champagne corks yet. The numbers look
that's the
terrible
Molly.
for Kamala Harris. What's your team telling you?
So we just got some numbers here that actually are pretty interesting as far as Florida. Now, here's the thing. To a lot of young people watching right now, they don't realize that we used to stay up late, right, just to hear the results from Florida. So people are taking for granted that Florida is not really a swing state. But we have the numbers.
right.
I think Gerald has them in front of me. There was an 18-point swing. Was it Miami-Dade or was it Palm Beach? Gerald will come in real quick.
Miami-Dade 2020, Biden won that 7.3. Trump is leading by 11 right now. These numbers can change a little bit. But right now, Broward, Biden won by 29 points. Harris is only up by 20. Palm Beach, Kamala is up 0.7. Biden won that by 12. These numbers are massive shifts to the right
shifts
in those counties.
And I think a big reason for it, in Florida, as you look, there's a huge percentage of Jewish Americans obviously voting and the Hispanic Americans. And Donald Trump doesn't need to win those demographics. He just needs to peel off enough people, which is what I think we're seeing. And so we're going to have our analysts there sort of lay over, sort of put these over Pennsylvania with the biggest, obviously, of the swing states, Jewish voting election base. I believe it's 800,000. So if we're seeing that, it could be actually a pretty early night. Again, we don't want to count any chickens before they hatch. Is it eggs before they hatch? Chickens before they hatch. But the numbers are not looking good for Kamala. Of course, the caveat there is outright theft. We know that.
Yeah, but I think that's good you have Gerald there. We love Gerald. Gerald's like a big wine guy.
sir.
He sent me a bottle, and usually when people say they're going to send you a bottle of wine, Steve, they send you some cheapo or something.
Right.
Not Gerald.
No.
Gerald sent me like the high end. I almost felt bad. I felt like
Yeah.
sending him a check. I was like, damn, bro, you know your wine. So we love Gerald. But it makes the Trump strategy, I mentioned this earlier in the show, I'd love to get your thoughts on it, sound like it's pretty genius. You can see at the end, if you notice all the visits they made, they were not abandoning the West Coast, Arizona. They went out there, but they focused heavily on Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia because of what you just said. They're terrified of another late ballot drop, this thing dragging till 2 in the morning, and they know if they run up the score on the East Coast that there's simply no freaking math. If he wins PA, North Carolina, and Georgia, there's simply no math for her to win. I thought the strategy was genius.
Yeah, the only problem is Pennsylvania, of course, you're saying, might take them, 4 years to count the votes into the next election. But it may not matter if we're looking at the percentages. Again, we have a team here where we can look at the margins, even if Donald Trump doesn't win, let's say Virginia or New Hampshire. But if it's within, let's say New Hampshire, 2 points, if it's within 5 points in Virginia, that gives you some pretty good ideas, some indicators as far as momentum, and these states can be called early. So we have some people here who are looking at some numbers that may often be overlooked. I think that's why we have the biggest stream right now in the world, because they really are working hard back there to provide some of this data.
Yeah.
And, CNN is not having a good night tonight. We know, look, this could go either way, but I think people have good reason to feel pretty confident. It doesn't change that, hey, if you were out there in the West Coast where the polls have not...
You heard? Are you ready for that techno days?
Yeah, bro.
Gonna be crazy, right?
Yeah. Alright, let's see. Let's go back into the thing here. Anything change? Oh boy! Damn! Trump 95 electoral votes, while Kamala 35, bro. Oh, yeah.
Kamala's cooked.
Kamala's cooked hard. Hard cooked. You imagine Trump comes into office like, it's good to be back, boys. It's good to be back. Yeah, West Virginia.
You my brother, Dan.
West Virginia.
Our game.
New York is there hasn't there
gang,
hasn't been no count on New York. New York has got no counts yet. Nor California, New Mexico, just Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Atlanta, Alabama.
Bitches be crazy.
Mississippi.
I just be getting lazy. That's why I said instantaneous, Banius.
Michigan is, of course, is liberal.
Works.
But we doing this, chat. We are literally like
making out of the hood. Just trying to eat some food.
Oh boy.
And some stripper bitch makes it lewd.
We really are like Trump is.
Gotta get the tissues.
We had coffee once or twice. No, I love Rumble. Really, ecstatic to have you on Rumble Premium. I mean, you were one of the biggest live streamers in the world, not just the United States. And as I said, Steve, it is the future. It is unquestionably the future. Let me get your opinion on some of these west. Let's move out west a little bit.
Yeah.
Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona. What's your team telling you? Evita Duffy's next to me. She knows Wisconsin politics well.
You're
Dad
more
was a congressman there for a long time. Evita's a little concerned about Wisconsin. I'm not knee deep in Wisconsin politics, but what do you think?
Well, the best part about Wisconsin is that it has 49 of the drunkest counties out of the top 50. So that's always fun, no matter what. They're gonna have a good time.
Pretty awesome.
I have said since the beginning, of this election that I think Wisconsin is more likely than Michigan. Being someone who has relatives in both Wisconsin and Michigan, having spent a good portion of my life in Michigan, just because of the corruption in Michigan. One thing people don't like to acknowledge: McCarthy was right. When he talked about communists, when he talked about spies, he was right about them infiltrating institutions, namely academia, Hollywood, but also the unions in the United States. And that's why when you look at, for example, the Teamsters, when you look at the actual percentage of the members of the union who are overwhelmingly supporting Donald Trump, what happens is you have union leadership just sit it out because they are not looking to do the will of their actual members, right? It's really about those in charge. As far as Wisconsin, I think that Wisconsin is more inherently conservative than Michigan outside of Milwaukee and Madison. I'm interested to hear why Evita is less confident. I'm not super confident in either of those states, but I do think that Wisconsin is more likely than Michigan. But I'd be curious to hear Evita's thoughts and if she thinks that Michigan is more likely. Oh, 1 second.
Michigan is more likely.
Sorry, I'm sorry. We didn't get your microphone there. I'm sorry, Evita.
There we go.
Could you go one more time?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
No, so what I'm saying, what I meant is that I think Milwaukee is a little more prone to cheating. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a little insecure. They're having to recount already in Milwaukee. There were a lot of discrepancies in 2020. I'm not worried about the people of Wisconsin. I love the people of Wisconsin. I'm worried about the process.
You know what? It's funny that you said that.
I think you kind of echo the same. So you just said the same thing.
About
you
Michigan.
The same
about Michigan.
Right?
Yeah, about Michigan. And so I hear where you're coming. But in Michigan, they just made it too big for people to understand there was a cheat. Like, for example, I didn't live in Michigan for a very long time in the last election. But I received a ballot to my old address, and it just said that it was processing. And I had no way to confirm whether it was actually filled out or not. And by the way, I checked on relatives in Michigan, same thing, who I know did vote, and it just said processing. And there was no way to confirm, at least as the ballots were being counted. So, yes, I hear you in Milwaukee, Evita, but I would ask you, because you're the state that had Scott Walker, by the way, not really a rhino, someone who was pretty conservative, was looked at for the national stage. We haven't had that in Michigan in quite a while. The state legislature kind of goes back and forth, but the entire system in Michigan is corrupt because of Wayne County. And not only that, but you can see it in Grand Rapids. You certainly see it even in northern Michigan areas like Traverse City, which basically is San Francisco of the north. So exactly what you're saying about Wisconsin, I'm not as familiar with, is exactly why I feel that Michigan would be hard. Not because of the people, though a little bit because of the people, but because of the union strongholds. And look, in Michigan, we talked about this. We just had a Chinese exchange student who voted, asked for their ballot back, and they found out this person was a non-citizen, but the vote will still count. And in Michigan, you don't actually have to provide proof of citizenship. You just sign an affidavit.
And where is Michigan on the drop boxes? Because I know Wisconsin has them all over the place now. Our Supreme Court said it's okay. So does Michigan allow that too? I don't know what the recent rulings have been, but I do know that they have allowed them in the past. Again, these things are kind of fluid right now with them going up and down in the courts. But, Michigan is that state where you had that famous graph, right? And you had the red wagons come in with votes, and you had people board up the precincts with Bristol boards. So if it's as bad in Wisconsin, they weren't as flagrant. Like, they didn't even try and hide it in Michigan. So maybe they just do a better job of hiding it in Wisconsin. But I think it's the same thing. What you're saying, the people and the representation, there's a pretty big divide. And you're probably more in tune with Wisconsin, but same thing with Michigan. I know so many people who would vote for Donald Trump. It's definitely close, but you don't always see that in those national elections.
Steve, I'll let you run after this question and continue to dominate with the live stream. Rumble loves you. I love you. You've been a good friend to me. Georgia right now does not look good for Kamala Harris. Now, again, it depends on what portion of the state. There could be some urban vote. There could be some rural. We don't really know, but 55% of the vote is, so we have a good sample size. Donald Trump at this point is up pretty handily in Georgia. This doesn't look good, again, for Kamala Harris. What's your team telling you about Georgia? Because like I said, if Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina go our way handily, there's just no math for her.
Well, there's math for her if she wins Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. But, it's certainly a good start. And that's why we thought if we look at the East Coast, we're looking for some other indicators like in Virginia, like in New Hampshire to see where that margin is. But actually, Gerald, I believe, has an update right now on Georgia from our real-time data analyst.
It's so funny you asked that. I asked for a trend in Georgia right now just so we could see it. So 48% statewide counted. DeKalb is not reported yet. But Trump, of the last dump in the last hour, he's received 57.2% of the vote. So going forward on as these dumps come in, that number that he needs to win is going down. So 46% of the outstanding vote is all he needs to win in Georgia right now. So that's something that we will track over time. It is heading down. It was 47.7%. Now it's 46%. So as these dumps come in, Trump is getting a large share, and it's cutting the number he needs of whatever's remaining to actually be able to win. So the trend is good in Georgia right now.
Yes, and we're providing right now. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. This is from all the acidic vomit the last 2 days. No joke. Where I was worried about my vocal cords
acidic wine.
keeping up.
It's different.
We actually have an exclusive graph that we're providing to the audience so they can see what percentage of the remaining dumps Donald Trump knows, so they can see that go down in real time. And like you said, it's a very good trend for Donald Trump. It's not a deadlock. But if you look at Georgia and you look at North Carolina, if he wins those, and of course Florida was called very early, and you look at the margins in some of those eastern states, he doesn't have to win them. For example, like in a place like New York, I think he only needs to be within 16. I think only losing it by 16, and that would put him really with the last Republican to win, I believe it was George H.W. Bush in 1988, who came that close in New York. So we're looking at some of these numbers. I think you're right. Hopefully we just helped undergird, not your gut feeling in some of the numbers, but, we have guys getting they're nerds back there, Dan. They're real nerds.
Steve, listen, man, again, I'll let you roll, but what I'm feeling right now, and what I want to say, I'm kind of holding inside because I don't want to get out ahead of myself. But in 2016, you know Dan Horowitz over at Conservative Review. Do you know Dan at all? Yeah, he has his own podcast. But yeah, well, Dan and I, we kind of got into it. I mean, friendly. It's not like we were doing jujitsu or anything, but we kind of got into it a little bit because I was running in 2016 for Congress and I was knocking on doors, and I saw it. I saw like all these people with yard signs who weren't on my knock list. And they were like, oh, yeah, I never vote. That's why I'm not on your knock list. I'm just voting for Trump. And I said, man, this guy's going to win. And I had that feeling. I'm sensing it this time, too. I mean, the Big Mo, I don't know what the hell you call it, but you just know, like, in a fight, anything from, like, jiu-jitsu to somewhere else, when the momentum's on your side, you can feel it. Yeah. And I want to be Trump right now. I sure as hell don't want to be Kamala.
No, I think that's a good read. And, you know, if you guys want to look at some of these details, you know, it's free for anyone. The electionintegritymap.com. You can check it out where we're providing data that they're not providing in a lot of these other places. So your gut is right, and the numbers that you have are reflected when you get even deeper into the numbers. So you're not wrong, but what you're feeling is probably a result of the blue chews. So let's keep that to a minimum.
Steve, we love you, man. At Rumble, you're amazing. So really, you guys have been an absolute champion for freedom of speech. We're so glad to have you. Rumble Premium Mug Club moved over. It's awesome. Thanks, brother. We really appreciate it. Gerald, send me another bottle.
Got you covered.
Yeah, he's got you covered.
I got you covered.
Love that guy.
He'll send you a bottle. He'll send me a box of Franzia. Dan Bongino. Go.
Love it, guy.
I'm not lying. I forgot to take into account the throwing up and how that affects your vocal cords. What?
You want to celebrate now?
Why do we have another state to call?
That's the biggest. Yes, we have a state to call, but over 556,000 live concurrent. That breaks a record. We have never done anything that big, guys.
Are we sure?
We're just getting started. We are sure.
Okay.
It's early.
We are sure, baby. 2020.
It is early.
We just beat 2020.
All right. Well, let's
like 2.5 hours in.
Well, here I want to do something. Nick, if you need to grab a break, or if you need, I want to bring in Lane the Brain with some of those graphs so we can show them. What it is, because we haven't shown that yet. And by the way, you still have Dan's feed up there, so you guys might want to close it because I'm still watching him. So we can bring, I would assume, sorry, I know we haven't done a commercial break yet. We've been going for what?
We've been going
2.5 hours?
Yeah.
I got 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick. And by the way, as you go out, let me plug your Ottumwa,
This Saturday
Iowa.
night. This Saturday night.
This Saturday. Ottumwa, Iowa, the Bridgeview Center Theater. And look, Donald Trump Jr. told you, Dan Bongino will tell you, OG, funniest man alive. If you want your side, okay, this is the greatest endorsement I could give him. I would not chance going to see him live with my stomach flu. And there's not a hint of hyperbole because I would lose friends. It's uncontrollable laughter. So go see him this Saturday, November 9th. Hey, you're supporting Donald Trump tonight. Go out, support live comedy. Nick, go take a bathroom break, and we'll bring in Lane the Brain.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. I know. And then eventually I'll get a break where I'll eat some saltines.
I'm not sure that we're going to be able to make that happen ever, but we'll get around to it.
So please, everyone out there, share. If you're on X, share. If you're on Rumble, share. If you're on YouTube, like, share.
And then go to Rumble.
It's already #1 in the world. Just show the rest of the world why you bet right, why you tuned in here tonight. Yes. No one is going to do it better tonight than we are. We are going to have up-to-the-minute data and a more granular look at data. Do we want to go people at work, or do we want Lane the Brain to
Lane's going to come in. He needs just a couple minutes to grab some stuff and come in. We do have Russell Brand in about 15 minutes.
I mean, I'm glad, but it's just, I don't know when I'm going to get a break.
Telling you, and we have another state to call.
We have another state to call right now?
Right now.
All right, it's time to call. I hope you got this, tool man.
No.
I
was preparing a fucking break. Son of a bitch.
Language. We're bringing in people. This isn't just none of that basement podcast. We're bringing in people from CNN and Fox Business, for God's sake.
I'm going to murder Gerald. All right.
Let's call it
state.
People are hopping over from Neil Cavuto.
All right.
And by the way, before we call it, getjackedup.com. I'm telling you, the Evolution is the best home gym money can buy. I'm not just saying that when they called. I was already familiar with it. It's the best out there. All right, we are calling a state right now.
South Carolina's 9 electoral votes go to Donald Trump.
We don't have Donald Trump calling all the states, but all the swing states.
Do all the states, but Tim is more concerned about going to a break than winning.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I know.
Well, we were just talking about a break for the past 5 minutes.
I got my hopes up too.
Okay, all right.
Jeez.
Well, hey, if you guys want to take a break, if you guys want to take a break while I talk with Well, because Tim probably needs a break. Okay, Toolman probably needs a break.
He pees in a bucket. He's fine.
I just feel like we got momentum going.
We have momentum. I don't want to lose the momentum.
Yeah, I don't want to lose the momentum.
Stay with us.
So, are we taking a break or no? No, we're not going to take a break. Are we taking a break? We're not taking a break, are we?
No.
No, we're not taking a break.
We're going straight
not right
through,
now.
baby.
Dude,
We're
it
not
is
going straight towards you, baby.
crazy right now. 101 to 49.
That's
oh!
fine. And I appreciate it. I'm definitely playing the flu game tonight.
All right, well, we'll get.
Come
Lane in
on,
here.
Cook.
Yeah, we'll get Ginger Snap.
Trump
in
is
here.
coming in. He's coming back.
We'll get Ginger Snap in here to give us some
He's coming
updates. And hopefully we have those
coming
numbers
back.
on the.
Oh, you want to call another state?
Well, you just hit the stinger just so we have it. Let's call another state.
Was it Rick?
Rick.
Brought to you
Good.
by Noble Gold. Thank you guys very much for your support.
I'm so glad they sent me silver because it's such a better weapon.
It is. You throw the gold coin at somebody, you're just going to irritate them.
Now, if they throw the gold at somebody, it's just like it's like when you go, it's like what you do with a stripper you hate.
Oh, gee. Well, no, it's solid.
Oh shoot, that went behind the couch. That's real gold. That's like intern to get that back.
$1,400, no?
Lenny's already grabbed
$500 or $600. All right, Arkansas, 6 electoral votes going to Donald Trump.
Whoa!
There we go. He's at 105 now total, I believe. 105.
And by the way, everyone watching,
beat Reuters.
all of this is being updated. The electionintegritymap.com. So you see all the states called, you see all the electoral votes, but you also see any foul play going on, which right now, this is the Reuters map, I believe. Are we still up? Is our map, or are we still hitting those DDoS attacks?
I will check.
Back and forth.
Boy, did that happen immediately.
I mean, like 5 seconds into it, jerks.
It's not a good sign.
No, it's not.
Oh, my gosh.
yeah,
all right.
cool.
Well, the good news is we're providing, if you can't access it, you can access us right here where we're giving you all the data. See, nothing up our sleeves.
They're still
We're
working
letting
on
you
it,
know
yeah.
exactly what is going on. We have all the data
the
that
official,
these news agencies have, only they don't really necessarily want to tell you. So North Carolina right now on CNN, they're saying...
that closed. That was a much bigger gap a minute ago. So it's only 14% of the people.
Yeah, only
are
14%
polls.
in North Carolina.
So, yeah,
where they
it's
have...
estimates.
Well, it depends on which districts are coming in. But
Do you want Lane in the red chair here or out there?
Well, we can have him in here in the red chair.
Come on in, and while we do that, so we have to do the switch. So we did the election night, 10% off the entire store. Right now, we're going to go to the merch promo number 2.
Well, I'll probably change shirt. I'll probably do a quick break before Russell Brand.
Yeah, and then we'll change those shirts.
And then I'll change shirts.
Yes, I love that.
I have to grab one of these ginger chews because I was this
Okay,
close to throwing up.
Perfect. So the promo code now is Trump 2024, and that gets you 24% off any Trump hat for 1 hour.
Crowdershop.com.
1 hour from right now. It is 8:33 p.m. Go to crowdershop.com and get 24% off any Trump hat.
Yeah.
Do it now.
And I'm not going to scare you guys because the truth is so many of you have overwhelmingly supported us where we will be here for the next election where we didn't know before this morning. But this guarantees, the more you go to Crowder Shop or the more you sign up for Rumble Premium, guess what? Guarantees that we can do more stuff with the undercover unit. Guarantees we can bring more people in and guarantees... What?
Undercover unit.
Do we have something right now?
Yes, we do. All right, so we have some undercover footage right now.
Hold on one second. I have to chew my ginger thing so I don't throw up.
So I'll just kind of set it up. So the polls have closed in Philadelphia, obviously. So the ballots are being moved from drop boxes around the city, and we actually have eyes on them from one of the, I believe, one of our journalists is going to follow the ballots, and so we've got some footage of that right now.
We have some footage right now. This is exclusive. Do we have a Mug Club under? Do we have an exclusive? Do we have a stinger or no?
We got a lot of stingers.
I could find one.
All right. Well, all right. You know, this is exclusive to us right now, live. This is someone following the. Explain it again, Gerald, because again, I'm kind of flying blind.
So they're gathering up all the votes. They're following the trucks as they are gathering the votes from the drop boxes to make sure no shenanigans happen. They have footage of that. No shenanigans yet, but we have eyes on it.
Okay, let's see some of that footage. Oh, it looks like a damn monster movie. Okay, they're gathering up the boxes. Which, by the way, that's my favorite place to put.
Okay, 9 seconds. Okay.
That's my favorite place to put the fate of the free world is in a box with hourly workers.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Hourly workers. That's tough.
When's lunch? That's what he's saying. How many more we gotta move? Right? He sounds like the tall one in the Flintstones. Boss, I'm moving the Dropbox, boss. And there's some small one like, I told you to quit talking.
Matt Damon.
Okay, boss. That's what I do. Whenever I do it for my son, I do that voice. And hey, I told you talk too much, you get us in trouble, dummy.
You hit him, it's great.
Yeah, well, I don't hit him.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
Sometimes.
No,
you got to kick him.
Just letting you know. You don't know what's real or what's not. I don't either because I have a fever. So
okay, you'll be fine.
We're going to bring in Lane the Brain
in 2 seconds. He's
in
just
2 seconds,
throwing
and then
some
Russell Brand. We have Russell Brand coming on here. And by the way, what a conversion
up?
story!
Kidding.
Russell Brand. Russell Brand was.
What's up, Technomain? Listening to that. Election 2024.
Pro
yes,
socialism
sir.
for a long time. You know, you had the Trues News where I used to
Look,
give that
look,
guy
look at it. Look at this. Look, if you look at my screen. Look.
I'll be honest. I stopped watching Steven Crowder because some of the stuff he said is like a little bit too far in the joking department. But yeah.
But look
what's on your screen.
You see this?
Yes, I see. I see says the fun.
101.
Bro, I hope that God leads the right leader into election. That's how. And ultimately,
Oklahoma.
we look at the policies between Kamala and Trump. Trump is more
in line.
You know, biblical principles to be instated into America. So
yeah. 71 Kamala Harris, well, Trump 101.
Yep, I'm seeing that right now. I saw that.
I'm gonna be watching that poll for a bit.
So much crap because
whatever time period we're refreshing at.
Hold on a second. I want to move the mic so that because you know your good looks don't.
I bet you they're gonna delay it a little bit extra. I hope it's not like last time. Where
in 2020. Oh boy, yeah, they literally delayed it
that was
for like a
so
couple
rough,
days.
bro.
For a couple days.
I was like, bro, I don't even see the. I was like, all right, I'm gonna wake up.
Actually,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're
nothing
like,
happened yet. No one was called. No president was called, and then
like, bro,
I would imagine quite a pretty high Jewish voting population in some of those counties, and Hispanic, of course.
With those, Sam is working right now very hard to get you the specific Jewish votes. We have the broad county range, but he's looking at the stuff right now.
Yeah, he's calling all of them.
Yes, it's like three delis that haven't reported.
But we actually have the graphic for PA too that you can pull up.
Okay, let's bring up the graph for Pennsylvania. And again, this is exclusive. This is the kind of data. Okay, so what we are seeing right now is the remaining percentage of the vote that Donald Trump would need to win. That's pretty high right there.
It is, because what you're seeing here is these are all the early votes that are being counted. And we know Kamala, who I don't give a shit. She was coming in with a huge lead, but we know that lead wasn't as big as they wanted it to be. So it looks bad, but the further we get into the counting, you should see the red start coming up. So he's going to get bigger and bigger proportions.
Also, of course, the Amish vote isn't in yet.
Yeah,
that's true.
Don't believe it is.
And that's huge for Trump.
Well, that's because Witness is on reruns on TBS.
That's right. And they, what the hell?
Do you think that's got to be like their? Oh, you got to take the label off. Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh my gosh. And by the way, while we're talking about Pennsylvania, this is where the firewall, like we said, you're seeing that right there. The early votes was 409,000, but that's 91,000 short of what the Democrats needed.
Correct.
So that was entirely expected, and it's still short of what Democrats need.
So what they were saying earlier, a bunch of the news networks were reporting that to win the state, they would want Kamala to get 700,000 votes from Philadelphia County.
Right.
Which would be about 100,000 more than Joe Biden actually won.
Right.
So things are not, again, I don't want to pop any champagne. You don't do that. But if you were looking for good trends, they're there. So
yeah. Well, you know what else I really like? And this is no small thing. The fact that you said Kamala, I don't give a shit. The fact that you just said that on a stream that is many, many times bigger than CNN or legacy media is great, because there they say that's a racist trope.
Of course.
But the truth is,
I just don't know because I don't care.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
I go back and forth. Kamala, I don't care because she's a bitch.
How about Comstate? How's that sound?
Yeah, come on now.
If she was
the biggest election stream of the century.
If she was full Indian, I might be slightly more interested.
Yes, you might be slightly more interested because of the Asian fetish. Does that extend to Indians for you?
I want to watch.
He likes the Asian ladies.
Yeah, generally.
Which, by the way, is the least creepy preference ever. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the guys like the Asian ladies. Now, if you're a woman who likes Asian men, that's weird.
I don't the Asian broads.
Again, I have a lot of Korean friends, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay, you can abstain. Is there anything else that we need to know?
No, but we'll be watching all the swing states, and we can come back in and give you updates on that whenever you want to.
So before, you are always, and this is also why we love working with Lane the Brain and everyone we have here. We have brilliant researchers here. You have Georgia Greek. You do have, I begrudgingly, Sam from HR does some great work.
The Jewish research.
Yes, the Jewish research. If I ask for a Holocaust stat, he is on it. Anything else, it's like, take it or leave it.
Now, Stephen, you have to remember, these are the same people.
Yes. There's always some kind of factoid about the Holocaust. But, I get it. It was a big deal to them. A bad one.
Lane looks like somebody who was working in the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah.
On the wrong side.
Yes, he absolutely does.
He looks like every fucking army guy.
Yes. He looks like the page
list.
He looks like the page master version of Hitler Youth. Like,
doesn't he?
Walk back in. Or like that Take On Me video. Take on me. It's just Hitler Youth, and it's just Lane.
Lane's just about to do some meth and charge a city.
Yes, exactly. Well, don't forget the morphine. Meth, morphine. What was I saying before that?
You like working
well, you're very cautiously optimistic. We really do try and call balls and strikes. Now, we let people know when it's our opinion. For example, our opinion, the country is going to be in serious decline for a period of time if Kamala Harris wins. We all agree on that. What is not a matter of opinion is what the numbers look like. Before we started tonight, and I've said this since the beginning, 65, 35, I've always thought, Donald Trump, but by no means is it a lock. Today, you felt cautiously optimistic.
Correct.
Do you feel better based on where we are right now than when we started?
I do. I just want to see numbers come in out of places like Atlanta, Detroit, and Philadelphia before I start getting too optimistic, because we've seen how that can really rain on a parade really quickly.
Yes.
That's where all the cheating goes on.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly right.
That's what I was inferring,
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Hey, by the way,
I was staring at your chest.
You can bet.
Yo, Stebby.
Yes.
Excuse
me.
Did you see my post in this chat? Not my post, but my post. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah. So you're talking about, here, let me DM. Oh,
I can't. I don't see it in the chat.
Therapy cleaned house because of Brother Jack.
Hey guys. I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, because no one's in the congregation as of right now, so I'm over here. Like the Gnostic on a walk.
Who?
Real Santa. Gnostic on a walk. The guy always has a camera on walking around. Okay. So he was banned from the congregation, and I don't know if someone resolved his issue, but he had DM'd me and asked me to ask a mod why he was banned, and if he could get in contact with any mods.
Close to that time, bro.
Well, I really do not care about that Gnostic. If he gets banned, he gets banned. I don't really care.
Okay, but is there any mods you can get into contact with?
No, we don't want.
I don't know.
I don't want him to be banned because he's actually a genuine Gnostic in the heretic.
Wait, who?
Real Santa.
Bro, he said God is evil multiple times.
Yeah, that's why I don't want him back.
And then he contradicted himself and said, "No, I didn't."
Yeah. Anyways, I'll be back.
On Polymarket, if this stream will be taken
watch
down
your
from
back,
YouTube.
Know that this is about to drop. So.
Okay, so Lane, we thank you very much for the update, and you can just call in from, of course, people at work there later. Anyone who wants to come in, the audience wants to see more updates. We appreciate it. And by the way, everyone, let them know that you love them and thank them. They've been putting in work.
Say hi to the kids from Berlin.
Yes, the kids from Berlin. Whenever Lane walks in, they say, "Hail, follow the old man wherever he wants to go."
What's your fucking voice is fine.
Yeah, don't worry, it's almost done, bro.
What's Lane's last name? Is it German?
I don't think
you're gonna make a diss track, right?
Why don't you do this? Why don't you take a quick step out so that we don't have Russell on yet? Why don't you step out for just a second, but not a long break, but a quick break. We're not going to go anywhere. I'm going to talk about some other stuff while you're gone, and you can come back.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Can I take 2 minutes?
You take 2 minutes.
2 minutes. I have to change shirts.
You know what?
I got to eat some saltines.
A minute and 45
because I've been really wanting to eat some saltines because I haven't eaten anything today, and if I don't eat some saltines, I really feel like it's going to go badly.
We're not going to break. We're just going to let you take.
It's no saltines.
Well, so is it a saltine appropriate break or not?
Yes.
Okay.
But
there's some eggplant in the trash. Grab that.